But how will all of these overnight cues impact our own markets? Our research team is joining in with how the trade setup is likely to look like, the stocks that are likely to be in focus, and of course the setup on the FNO side of things as well. First up, Vivek joins in to get all the cues for we need to watch out for ahead of today's session. Vivek, good morning. It was a volatile weekly expiry session, but how's the setup looking like today?
Well, you're absolutely right. Good morning to you too. Given the fact that we saw a very volatile range-bound trading session yesterday, all eyes were on how the global handover would pan out. Global handover too largely mixed, but US markets largely ended on a positive note, mainly led by the kind of strong performance that you saw from Tesla, aided by the strong commentary coming in over there. Now, coming to the oil prices yesterday actually ended low by close to 0.8%. So now Brent futures hovering around the $74.4 a barrel mark. So that again remains a very important trigger to keep an eye out for. Yesterday, like we mentioned, what actually did well, the financials underperformed, markets ended marginally lower yesterday, range-bound trading session. Nifty Bank, largely led by HDFC Bank, was the one that managed to go ahead and make some gains. Mid-cap, small-cap end of the markets, when you're actually talking about it, they too cooled off. Mid-cap index down almost 170 points. But the biggest pain point yesterday was the consumer pack. So look at names like HUL, Colgate, all of them came out with results. Very weak set of numbers, volume growth not as per what the market was anticipating, and on the back of that, you actually saw very sharp moves coming in over the Hindalco, SBI Life, Escort. All these companies were amongst the key drags in the broader end of the markets. What is it that we'll be watching out for today? Earnings reactions. IndusInd Bank, appears to be a weak set of results over there. NTPC, GCPL, UBL, all of them will react to results today. Quite a lot of results coming in even from the Nifty pace. So look at names like JSW Steel, SPCL, BPCL, BL. All of them will come out. When you're talking about the handover from Asia, flat as flat can be, GIFT Nifty indicating a slightly soft start for our markets today.
We keep an eye out on all of these earnings reactions. Another earnings heavy day as well. Vivek, thanks a lot for that. Over to Vinny now, who would list out all the stocks that you need to watch out for today. It's a long list of earnings reactions. Vinny, good morning.
Good morning. Absolutely a long list of reactions. And let's start with IndusInd Bank, because we're expecting a bit of a subduedness given that it was weak across various parameters. Operating profits declined for the first time in 33 quarters on a year-on-year basis. So that's going to be creating some bit of a pressure for IndusInd Bank. Godrej Consumers, a decent set of numbers given that there's been a tepid demand environment. Domestic volume growth came in at 7% versus an expectation of 7 to 8%, while EBIT margins in India, that was a bit of a concern, and that's seen a decline. United Breweries, good pickup seen in premium volumes, good set of numbers. Growth was mainly led by the North and West region. So a thumbs up coming in for United Breweries. Signed, that is also in focus, decent set of numbers. Revenue saw a growth of around 10%. Margins also saw a good expansion. So keep an eye on that. IEX, largely in line set of numbers. Operational update was also in line. Revenue saw around a 29% growth. Keeping an eye on that. ITC, strong performance that came in from the company, especially in the agri business, that saw good growth. Other than that, hotels also continue to see a good growth, and this is despite the high base. Margins was lower mainly because of on account of high inflation that we saw in leaf tobacco, the product over there in terms of raw material, as well as FMCG inputs that saw a bit of an increase. Bikaji, good performance coming in from the company led by sweets and volume growth of around 15%. Dixon also a strong set of numbers, strong EBITDA, revenue growth also quite robust. NTPC subdued set, while GMR Airports steady performance operationally is what we saw, but net debt saw an increase. And Kansai Nerolac on the back of an entry of agreement with a company to sell their Lower Parel land of around 726 crores. So keeping an eye out on that.
Vinny, thanks a lot for that update. And over to Sudarshan now, who joins in with cues from the FNO space. Sudarshan, the struggle to sustain at higher levels continue. Good morning.
Good morning, Harma. So yesterday we saw after range-bound session, Sensex and Nifty closed with minor cuts as it was well supported by financials, especially HDFC Bank. But pain continues to remain in mid-cap space. And for today also, GIFT Nifty is indicating a start with flat start or with minor cuts. Talking about institutional flows, yesterday we saw FIs selling more than rupees 5,000 crore, DIs buying more than rupees 3,600 crore in the month of October. So far, FIs have sold almost rupees 1 lakh crore. But good news, slightly good news coming in the index futures. After so many days, we are seeing buy from FIs. FIs bought almost rupees 1,700 crore. And they have also added long contracts. They have added long contracts of more than 10,000, and at the same time they have reduced short contracts of almost 12,000. Even in the addition of contract side, We have seen reduction in the long contracts. It's lesser than previous, like last few days. We have seen reduction of 1.5 lakh, and with this, long exposure has increased to 35%. On the client side, we continue to see addition of long contracts. Yesterday, we saw addition of 2.3 lakh, and with this, long exposure has increased to 64.6%. On the option front, on the call side, two options were active, that was 24,500 and 24,400. On the put side, 24,300 was the most active option. With this support levels, support is 24,360, resistance is 24,500 for Nifty. And lastly, stocks that might be in focus, Birla Soft and GNFC, they have come out of FNO band.
Sudarshan, thanks a lot for that. It's been 3 straight sessions now that the Nifty has been making lower highs and lower lows on the charts, and now down almost 7.5% from the record high levels. But